Hey everybody, and welcome to Top Comics to Pre-Order in a Flash. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is our really quick show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend so you don't miss out on any of the good stuff. And there is so much good stuff. It is bursting at the seams. We kind of even broke our rules a little bit.
Yeah.
So you'll see some kind of doubled up in here. But that means there's so many good things. So head over to infinityflux.net right now. Check it all out. But then come back on Friday where we'll be having a bigger show showing all of it. And I can already imagine that's going to be a pretty substantial
For sure.
show.
Yeah, we had trouble deciding which ones are going to fit in here because there's so many good stuff this week.
But let's get into it.
We're going to start with Absolute Power Ground Zero. So the Absolute Power event all starts right here in this one shot. This is going to be an oversized issue. I think this is going to have multiple stories in it because there's multiple writers and artists listed. And it's going to bridge the events of what's going on in Batman, what's going on in House of Brainiac, and also the Suicide Squad Dream Team. This is going to show us how the key to capturing the metahuman powers gets unlocked and what Amanda Waller is going to do with it. She's going to use the combined might of Failsafe, Brainiac Queen, and the Suicide Squad to do it all. And it says years of storytelling culminate here.
Awesome. Next up for me is Phoenix #1, spinning out of the Fall of Krakoa, which if you've read some of the X books from this week, you know Phoenix plays a big part in that. And what do you do with this character that is godlike powers? Well, she is kind of trying to figure that herself as Jean goes into space because she gets a distress call from Nova. And there is at the edge of a black hole, I don't know if it's a planet or a space colony, but people that need to be saved. But it says whether Jean saves them or don't will still bring darkness to the universe. So sounds like we're setting up some pretty big things for Phoenix, Jean Grey coming up soon. So if you're excited about the From the Ashes now, X-Men, it starts here.
Next is Kill All Immortals #1. This is a new book from Dark Horse. This is described as Succession meets John Wick with immortal Vikings. 1,000 years ago, there was a Viking family who discovered the source of immortality, and now in present day, they are a billionaire family with a powerful banking empire. But the daughter here, you can see on the cover, her name's Frey. She wants to be free of her family's influence, and she is going to have to be prepared to maybe reveal her family's secret in order to get away from them.
Next up, I'm really excited about this. Zatanna Bring Down the House #1. This is a new Black Label miniseries. And in this, since it's kind of disconnected from continuity, it can kind of tell its own Zatanna story. Because in this, she is working at a pretty crappy casino on the Strip in Vegas, but it's not because she wants it that way. The other bigger casinos have not come calling, but that could be because she's hung up the real magic more in favor of card tricks, sleight of hand, that kind of thing, because there was something that happened in her past when she was young that involved real magic that kind of made her turn away from that life. But during one of her tricks, it seems like a vortex opens up and a demon comes out of it, and now Zatanna will have to confront the magic that she kind of swore off to confront it and save everyone. So very cool new Black Label series here.
Next is Spider-Man Reign 2 #1. This is the sequel to the infamous Spider-Man Reign miniseries from a few years ago. This is going to return us to Spider-Man's dystopian future, and we're going to get questions like, who is the new Black Cat? What tragedies and triumphs await this older Peter Parker? But in this miniseries, we will see that Peter isn't the only one who has aged. Wait till you see what happened to Miles. So I guess we'll have to wait, and I guess that's on the cover is a good hint.
Next up, I've got Star Wars Inquisitors #1, a new miniseries. I'm very excited about this one because there's a lot of questions around the Inquisitors. Who are they? We know that they are Jedi hunting, basically assassins for the Empire who were former Jedi themselves. We've seen them pop up here and there in Obi-Wan, in some of the games, but this is actually going to follow them going after a character named Tensu Run, who is a Jedi that managed to face them and Vader and survive. And what about this makes the Empire so afraid? So it sounds like a really cool mystery they're setting up, and yeah, sounds really awesome.
Next is Annihilation 2099 #1. This is, I think, going to be a 5-issue miniseries. And in this issue, the question is asked: who is the last Nova? There's a remote town on a remote world that gets destroyed by a gang of raiders and thieves known as the Null Set. But they're going to meet their match when the last survivor of Xandar, Nova, comes to town. But who is he, and what great tragedy does he carry on his back? And each issue of this miniseries is going to focus on a different new 2099 version of a classic cosmic character.
Cool. Next up, we've got Doctor Who, the 15th Doctor #1. You may have checked this out during Free Comic Book Day. There was a preview of it, but we are a few episodes into the 15th Doctor era on Disney Plus, which I'm loving. And this is going to tell a new story of our two with Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor and Ruby Sunday, as they're drawn by a mysterious signal to a shopping mall in the last days of Earth. But it may be a trap orchestrated by one of the Doctor's most deadly enemies. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, or maybe you're just getting into it now that it's a little bit more accessible, check this out, because Doctor Who comics are very fun.
And next, we've got a twofer for you. There are 2 Wolverine books on FOC this weekend. We couldn't decide which one to spotlight here, so we're doing them both. In Wolverine Deep Cut #1, this is a retro series that's set after Uncanny X-Men #246. In that issue, Wolverine left the Australian outback and the X-Men for a personal mission, and this series is going to reveal what that mission was. And then The Life of Wolverine #1, that's a one-shot, and for the first time ever, Wolverine's life story is going to get told in chronological order from the 1800s to the Weapon X program to his time with the X-Men, plus some never-before-seen adventures.
Very cool. And much like yours, I've got 2 to talk about, and it's our 2 Blood Hunt books. So we're going to start off with Werewolf by Night, which I'm very excited about, because in this one, the Blood Hunt has wreaked havoc on the world, but unexpectedly, the darkness that fell over the world has kind of upgraded Werewolf by Night. He has new powers, he's imbued with a new look, and an all-new direction for the character. Also, X-Men Blood Hunt Psylocke, where after Krakoa, Psylocke has returned to Japan, where the vampire outbreak has taken over there too, and she will have to face a new villain that emerges from the darkness. So, 2 really cool new Blood Hunt tie-ins coming your way. That is it for Top Comics 2 Pre-Order in a Flash. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, head over to infinityflux.net right now, where you can place your pre-orders. Also, listen to our show or watch our show coming up on Friday, because there is so much more.
Yeah, bunch of stuff.
So much more. That will be a great show, so don't miss it, where we'll be going over these books, their variants, plus everything else coming up very soon. So, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see ya.